Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. We are so glad you're here. And before we jump into today's mission, please remember to subscribe to the Rugby Obsession YouTube channel and newsletter from the link in description.
Yes, definitely do that. Lots of great stuff coming up.
Totally. So today we are unpacking a single, highly revealing sports story from the Rugby Africa Women's Cup, taking place over in Nairobi, Kenya.
Right. And it's a story that really challenges how we think about winning.
Exactly. Because picture this. You're playing a test match, the final whistle blows, and you look up at the scoreboard. It's 64-5.
Just a massive blowout.
Right. On paper, it looks like an absolute demolition. A huge statement win for the Springbok Women against Madagascar. You'd expect the locker room to be a massive party, right?
Oh, absolutely. Popping champagne, music blasting, all of that.
But the post-match reaction, it tells a completely different story.
Yeah, the atmosphere was surprisingly tense.
It really was. So today, we're exploring the anatomy of a statement win. We're using recent match reports, looking at the brutal upcoming fixtures, and checking out the broader global rugby context.
Because a massive victory margin doesn't necessarily mean a perfect performance.
Right.
And whether you're a diehard rugby fan or just, fascinated by the psychology of high performance, this deep dive is going to show you exactly how elite teams judge themselves.
Spot on. So let's look at the sheer scale of the 64-5 victory.
It's huge.
Right. But then we look at the Springbok Women's assistant coach, Franzel September,
Yeah.
and his post-match verdict.
Yeah, he was surprisingly measured. I mean, he highlighted the positives, of course. He said the team played a full 80 minutes, gave great effort.
Which is the bare minimum, really, but
Yeah,
still good.
Exactly. But then he explicitly called out that things did not go according to plan. He actually said there are major work-ons required.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because it's like getting an A on a massive group project, right? You get a 98%. But then the professor calls you into their office to discuss your sloppy formatting and, your lack of citations.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Why is the coach focusing on the negatives when they just won by nearly 60 points? It seems a bit harsh.
Well, what's fascinating here is the psychology of elite coaching. Coach September pointed out that the team was overeager to score points.
White line fever.
Exactly. They didn't stay calm. And that indicates a serious mindset issue. See, elite teams judge themselves against a standard of execution, not just, how weak their opponent is.
Right, because if you bring that sloppy execution to a better team, you get destroyed.
Precisely. The system broke down because players wanted the spectacular solo try instead of trusting the phases.
And here's where it gets really interesting. That mental impatience translated into actual physical mistakes on the field, right?
Oh, totally. The penalty problem was glaring.
Yeah, the match report showed South Africa conceded all these unnecessary penalties for high tackles and offsides.
Which is crazy when you're up by 50 points. Why are you rushing up out of the defensive line to make a massive hit?
It's panic, or at least a total lack of composure.
Right. And you have to give credit to Madagascar here. They were overpowered, sure, but they played the full 80 minutes and kept the ball alive.
Coach September even praised them as an opponent that keeps you honest.
Which is a huge compliment. When South Africa got sloppy, Madagascar made them pay, especially at the breakdown.
Yes. The breakdown. How does a team dominating by 59 points somehow lose the physical battle at the breakdown? That makes no sense to me.
Well, let's think about the mechanics of it. When a team gets overeager on attack, like we just talked about, players rush past the tackle area.
Oh, looking for the next pass.
Exactly. The ball carrier sprints ahead, completely outrunning their support players, so when they finally get tackled, they're isolated.
And the Madagascar players just step right over and steal the ball.
Yeah, a simple jackal turnover. It's a tactical vulnerability. A top-tier team would severely punish that kind of sloppiness with lethal counterattacks.
Wow. And hey, just a quick reminder for everyone listening. If you are enjoying this analysis, make sure to subscribe to the Rugby Obsession YouTube channel and newsletter from the link in description. We really appreciate the support.
Absolutely. It helps us keep bringing you these deep dives.
So we've got this flawed tactical execution, but we also have to talk about who was actually on the field.
Right. The rookies?
Yeah. There were 6 new caps making their debuts for South Africa in this match.
6. That's a lot of fresh faces to integrate into a test match.
Coach September did congratulate them. He said they made an impact and did what was expected.
Which is great for their confidence.
But then you look at the turnaround. Their next match is on Wednesday against Uganda. And the squad selection is completely pending a 24-hour injury and niggle assessment.
Which is basically athletic triage at that point.
Right. So what does this all mean? How does a coaching staff balance praising 6 debutants for their first win while simultaneously, cracking the whip on discipline and breakdown tactics before a game just a few days away.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's all about the opponent. Uganda is coming off a heavy 43-10 loss to the host nation, Kenya.
Oof. That's a tough loss.
Yeah. Uganda will be desperate to bounce back. They'll have a chip on their shoulder.
And they're going to watch the tape of this Madagascar game, aren't they?
Absolutely. They will circle every single isolated runner at the breakdown, so the Springboks cannot afford that same sloppiness.
It is such a brutal, high-stakes environment, just fighting for basic survival and regional qualification.
It really is.
And it's wild to contrast this gritty, localized African tournament in Nairobi with the massive commercial machine of global rugby.
Oh, the difference is just night and day.
Right, because right alongside this match report in our sources, there's an update on the ticket application phase for the Men's Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, the corporate monolith.
It's so jarring. Fans need to activate their all-out advantage to maximize their chances in a digital ballot system. And the deadline to apply is June 2, 2026 at 18:00 AET.
It's basically a lottery just for the privilege of buying a ticket.
Exactly. You have millions of fans scrambling in this highly corporate system for the Men's World Cup while we're analyzing a women's qualifier where teams are fighting for basic breakdown supremacy on a Wednesday afternoon in Kenya.
This raises an important question, though. How do these two tiers actually connect?
Yeah, they feel like totally different universes.
They do, but the massive commercial machine of the World Cup absolutely relies on the grassroots level.
Oh, because you need a pipeline of talent.
Exactly. The structural growth and raw passion of the women's game in regions like Africa is the necessary foundation. It sits right beneath those massive, sold-out global events.
That makes total sense. You don't get the glamorous stadium sellouts without the Wednesday afternoon qualifiers where a coach demands perfection despite a 59-point lead.
That standard of high performance is the unifying thread across the entire sport.
Well said. So to distill all this for you listening, we saw a massive statement win for the Springbok Women today.
But we also saw an incredibly gritty, honest performance from Madagascar.
Yeah, and it's a strong reminder that in elite sports, the breakdown and penalty counts are the ultimate truth tellers. It really doesn't matter what the final score is.
The coach's clipboard never lies.
It really doesn't. And that brings us to the end of our analysis today. I want to leave you with a new angle to ponder before we go.
Something to think about while you're waiting for the next match.
Exactly. When we look at a 64-5 scoreline, we usually pity the losing team. But given how Madagascar successfully exposed the Springboks at the breakdown...
Oh, and forced them into all those messy, panicked penalties.
Right. Who actually learned more about themselves in this match? Was it the victors or the vanquished? Think about it.
It's a great question. And don't forget to subscribe to the Rugby Obsession YouTube channel and newsletter from the link in description.
Yes, please do. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.